darling?
I'm good. I'm feeling a wee bit rushed off my feet today, I have to say. I just got ready in about 14 minutes, had a shower, washed my hair. So that is, I think, a skill of a pageant girl.
It is. It honestly is. And I was watching your lives earlier, as in your stories earlier, and I was just like, I'm freaking out on her behalf.
What a day, honestly. But do you know what? It wouldn't be a proper pageant style without some like wardrobe mishaps and things. And just to explain to anybody watching, I actually ordered a bikini on Friday night, and the girl said she would post it on Saturday and kept saying she would post it. Got to Wednesday. She said, I can't guarantee it'll be here in time. And I thought, oh, I really hope it comes. And then messaged me today and said, I'm really sorry. There was 2 girls called Amy that bought things off me, and I've actually sent your swimsuit to somebody else. So, not ideal, really, is it?
Is it sorted now, though? Do you have a backup?
Yeah, I think I've always got backups just in case, but it's annoying when you've had your heart set on one and you think that's the one I want to wear. But do you know what? I think this year we're just making the most of bad circumstances, aren't we? So what is this missing swimsuit? Do you know what I'm saying?
In the scale of things, it's minor.
Exactly. It's very minor. So I do have a wee backup, luckily, that I had last year. I've never actually worn it on stage. So I'm still excited to wear that. So
yeah. So that's good. And are your passport things sorted as well? Because you had a busy day.
Oh my God. I honestly can't even tell you how stressful it's been. Monday I phoned the passport office and said, look, I've just realised my driver's licence has expired, and so is my passport. And so I had to get an urgent one today, and honestly, trying to get phone calls back, and I managed to get it, but I had to wait 3 hours outside the office, which was my valuable packing time. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit frazzled, I'm not going to lie, but I think tomorrow, once I get on that plane and I'm ready to go, I think the stress levels will come down a wee notch, I'm hoping.
And you'll be able to breathe and to throw it in. To throw it in, I've been messaging you like, can we have a live, please?
I know, and do you know what? It's something that I thought I definitely should do. Obviously, it's nice to be able to be on the Instagram lives and spread awareness, really. But it's come on quite quick, the whole Miss Universe thing. It's basically been in the space of 2 weeks that they've really decided that it will go ahead. So as you can imagine, I mean, pageant prep at the best of times is stressful, but 2 weeks notice
period of time
and a pandemic in the mix, it's wee bit overwhelming.
Oh, bless you. But what's this week look like for you? Because I know, apart from the disasters of today, but like, what have you been up to in terms of prep for this week? Because it's the final leg of the Miss Universe journey. So what's been happening?
Well, the scary thing is, a lot of people have asked me, you know, how's your prep going and what kind of things have you been doing? But the difficult thing is, a lot of pageant prep is charity events or holding fundraisers, raising money, which at this point in time for everybody is a really difficult time. So including myself, I actually lost my job this year because of COVID. So it's been quite difficult. I worked 2 jobs. So I worked as an on-air radio presenter, and that's the job that I lost because they just couldn't fund it. But a lot of my friends at the radio lost their job that day as well. So it's just, I'm in the same boat as a lot of other people. But the good thing is, I actually run my own little company on the side. It's a home help company for the elderly. So I've done that for about, do you know what? It's good fun and it's really rewarding as well. But I've done that for about 7 years now. And it was actually after I had an elderly friend. She was about 88 and I went to her for 7 years. And I used to take her out for lunch and take her to appointments, and she couldn't really get around, so I would take her to doctor's appointments, hairdresser's appointments, do all her housework, do all her shopping. And then the sad thing is she never really got out because she didn't have a lot of family. So it kind of became like a weekly thing where maybe twice a week or once a week we would go out for lunch. We would go to the local church and we would, because she liked to give back as well, so we'd go to the local church and have something nice to eat. But it got to the point where they knew us, so the minute we walked in we were like, just the usual thanks, just the usual thanks. So So after that, I did that for about 7 years, and then she actually passed away quite suddenly, which I was just heartbroken about,
Yeah.
because she was like she was like a gran to me, really,
Yeah.
because she didn't have any grandkids of her own, so it was like having another grandma, because my other gran passed away before I was born, so it gave me that
The
lease of
chance.
life on
Yeah.
that side. But after that, yeah, I decided, I thought, do you know what? Because she used to always say to me, I really appreciate what you do and I wish you could help more people. And after she passed away, I started doing it for an elderly man just local to me. And I was telling him about how, you know, I'd like to build it into a business and, you know, hopefully one day I'll be able to have other girls working with me. And he said, I'm going to give you £1,000 to start your own business.
Wow.
I know. And he was like, what you do is amazing. And I think it would be amazing for you to help more people. And I just think that he said, somebody helped me when I was your age and I want to pay it forward.
Yeah.
And he said, when you're my age, if you pay it forward, you know, we'll keep that legacy
Yeah.
going. So I was
That's
absolutely
amazing.
speechless. It was so
Yeah.
nice. So I've been able to build that up, which, to be honest, this year has been such a saviour.
Yeah.
Because with losing my main job, I've been able to I'm actually
Do
busier
more.
than ever with
Yeah.
the
You've
home
been able
health,
to do more.
because people need the help this year.
Yeah.
So it's almost been a blessing in disguise, because it means that the people that are really vulnerable that need the help are getting it. And it has also made me live life on my own terms, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because with another job, you know, you have to work the hours that they give you, and you can't take the holidays that you want, and it's quite a demanding job. Whereas with this, I get to pick my own hours. I've got no boss hanging over me that, you know, that I'm having trouble with, or, you know, I don't need to worry about putting holidays in. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's so nice to be able to do that yourself. It just makes you feel really independent.
Yeah.
So that's been a saving grace. I just feel lucky that I've actually got that, because with a lot of other people, you know, people have lost their jobs and they've got nothing.
Yeah.
So I
To
actually
be
feel
fair,
lucky.
yeah, to be fair, I'm a believer that everything happens for a reason, and this is your blessing in disguise of you losing your job. Yes, it wasn't nice, and yes, you did enjoy it, but you've been able to give back to the community, and now you're able to set your hours and things like that. So it kind of balances it out.
It definitely does. It does.
So
It has been a blessing in disguise. And the good thing is, as well, at the start of the year, I started getting a wee bit busier. And I was able to take another girl on. So it means that I've been able to take on double the workload.
yeah,
And it gives her some work as well.
exactly. So it works out in the end. So with all of that happening, what's the prep for like Miss Universe been in that time? Because we know that it was supposed to happen in July, but with everything happening, it got postponed. But what's the prep been like for you in terms of the whole entirety of 2020?
Yeah. Well, I think this year I'm not going to lie, it's really hard to sugarcoat, because this year's been really difficult for everybody. And I think the last thing on a lot of people's minds is a beauty pageant. Certainly for me, I've had a lot of highs and a lot of lows this year. And obviously, as it was approaching July, we kind of thought, right, it's not going to happen. But after that, Paula had said, you know, just be ready for short notice kind of thing. So, but as it's been approaching December, with everything happening, I thought it'll probably not happen.
Yeah.
So a lot of us didn't want to spend a lot of money on a dress, or just in case it didn't happen. So Paula had said at the start of December, I'm kind of thinking of putting something on. So, you know, I might not, it's not confirmed. And then 2 weeks ago, the night before she announced it, she said, right, girls, it's go
It's
time.
happening.
Yeah, which we were all like, okay, all right, okay, 2 weeks notice. This is a bit stressful, but I think that's the good thing about pageant girls. We like to improvise.
Resilient.
And I mean, through lockdown and stuff, I was complaining I was so bored. And see, now I've had a really, really busy 2 weeks between obviously my home help company, because that's grown more than ever, and people need my help more than ever, and trying to order a swimsuit, trying to get my passport. But in terms of charity work, it's been really, really hard this year. And I think a lot of girls feel guilty even asking for people to donate, because we're we're all struggling
We're in the
financially
same
this
boat.
year.
Yeah.
So there's not been too much charity work going on amongst all of us, obviously for obvious reasons because of the pandemic, and a lot of places have been in lockdown. I mean, where I live in Scotland was locked down until the 11th of December there. So
Wow.
that's been tough. And I'm such a fitness fanatic. Like, I love going to the gym. That's my thing. I'm there usually 7 days a week, sometimes 6, which might be a bit obsessive, but my boyfriend does bodybuilding. So the two of us, as spending time together, that's what we like to do. And it's fit and healthy. And that's been hard because the gyms have been closed. So you don't have that stress relief, and you also don't have that swimwear prep of, you know, I'm going to get on this stage and I'm going to feel better than ever. But I just know that from speaking to the other girls, we all feel the same this year, especially about the swimwear section.
Yeah, which comes to this question, which fits in perfectly, is swimwear round still important to have in pageants? Like, should it be something that we just take out of the competitions and go forward without it, or shall we build upon it and keep it as tradition and things like that? What's your opinion on that?
I think with pageants, I think you do need to have a fun aspect to it, because it is quite a serious thing. Pageants, you know, you're raising money for serious causes, you're working with vulnerable people, and you're trying to make a difference. So I think adding the fun aspect in it, a lot of people like to come and watch pageants, and I think that it would take the fun out of it if you didn't have the swimwear rounds. But I don't think that any woman's body defines how good a representative she'll be. I don't think that it limits anybody, but also in the same sense don't think that it hurts anybody. So I think that it's a good tradition to keep going. And also, I know myself from the gym, I put a lot of hard work in at the gym, and it's really great to get on the stage and finally feel like, you know, I've really worked hard for this and I'm proud of my body, and I'm proud to show it off. It gives you that chance to actually show it off and show what your hard work's done. So I think it would be good to keep them.
Yeah. Well, that's always nice to hear other people's opinions on this one, because I feel like it's cropped up over the years, pros and against for them, and whether we should do them or shouldn't do them. So it's something worthwhile to consider. But in terms of, like, what's your favorite round and why? I'm not sure if it's my connection, guys, or Amy. Not better.
Yeah, that's better. Sorry. So what I was saying was, it's definitely not the opening number. That's my least favourite, because I always muck up the dance, and they always put me at the front. And they're
I
like,
have
no,
witnessed
you
that.
can do it. Too many times, and it's always caught on video. And anytime anyone hears it, I'm like, oh, I'm right on the front. And I don't know why, but they always seem to have faith in me that I'm going to pull through. And I'm like, no, don't put me at the front. I've got 2 left feet. So yeah, the opening number I absolutely hate. I think my favourite one is probably, I do like swimwear just because but it's nice to have that balance, and it's nice. Oh, you froze again. Are you still there?
Yeah. Well,
it's nice to have the balance. So I like swimwear, but I think evening gown is my favourite, because what girl doesn't love to put beautiful dresses on and feel like a princess for a day? And you know, we're lucky that sometimes on women's wedding day, that is the only time they'll get to wear a incredible dress, but us pageant girls have got them on all the time, so
we do
I
it
just
all
feel
the
lucky
time.
that I'm a part of that.
Yeah. So one of the things that I know with a lot of pageant girls in the community, and some of the things that I've been seeing online, I wanted to ask, because you've won national titles before and you've gone to internationals, does that give you a advantage or disadvantage for the Miss Universe finals, do you think?
I don't think it gives you either, but what it does give me is a lot of pressure. because people expect you to do well. And that puts a lot of pressure on me. But I think this year, because it's been such a tough year, I've just said, I'm going to go and I'm going to have a good time. And that's what it's about. And if I win, I want to win for being me and not for being this rehearsed, robotic girl that's, just following what I think I should say. I would hope that if I was to win, that I was to win because I'm me, basically.
And that's the hope that we all hope for, is that we win because the judges say something in us that they think is worthy to represent the title of whichever title we're going for. So I think that's a fantastic answer. And one of the questions, getting it out there, is why do you think you should win Miss Universe GB?
Oh, well, first of all, I'd really like to make history because a Scottish girl's never represented Great Britain before.
I did not know that.
So Paula has ran it for nearly 20 years, she said. Or near enough that. Basically, in the reign of the time that Paula's had it, there's never, ever been a Scottish candidate that's won it. So it would be cool this year to put the cherry on top and make history, But apart
history
from that,
upon history.
Exactly. It would make it an iconic year. But apart from that, I just think that I've always thought that would be a great representative for Scotland. And I think that if you were to take it to the next step, I mean, Great Britain embraces diversity. And I think that it's important that Scotland's included in that, because quite often they don't send Scotland to pageants. I just think that's bizarre. And I would love to feel like I was worthy enough to actually get the Great Britain title and go to Miss Universe. It's a lot of girls' dreams from a really young age, but I have to say that for years I never ever believed that I could do it. So to even apply and be accepted is so humbling for me. And for last year, that the fact that I made it to the top 5, I was so shocked. And everyone was like, why are you so shocked? But at the end of the day, it's a competition and there's always only going to be one winner. I like to not put too much pressure on myself and not be like, this is everything, because if it was, then you'd be really disappointed. Because last year, I mean, there was 40 of us, so 39 would have been really disappointed. But I think it's important just to enjoy the journey, enjoy the experience. And, I think if it's a good day, then great. If it's a bad day, then it's a bad day. But at the end of the day, good days give you happiness and bad days give you experience. So it's a win-win.
That's very true. But one of the things that we as Pageant Land have been trying to do is introduce pageantry to people who've never been involved. Because I know that one of the things with us pageant girls is that once you do it, it's kind of addictive. You go every year and then you start going to the events and things like that. But how can we get people that are not in the industry to be involved in the industry?
Oh, it cut off there. Sorry, so you were saying...
So I was saying, how can we then get more people involved in the industry of pageantry, as in to introduce it to them? Because other countries treat pageant girls as these amazing celebrities and they support us and things like that, but the UK in its entirety, we don't really have the same support. So how can we get more people that are not part of pageants to be involved and to support and actually join in?
I think a big part of it is breaking the stigma that's attached to pageants, because as an outsider, before I'd ever stepped foot on the stage, I was a bit nervous and I was unsure about how the other girls were going to be. Was it going to make friends, or was it going to be quite catty? Were girls going to be stuck up? It's just the stereotypical pageant. I think that we really need to break that stigma, and we need to inform people and make sure they know their research about what pageants are about, because people only see a girl walking about in a bathing suit, but at the end of the day, it's so much more than that. They don't. Oh well, why would you put yourself through that?
but I think you gain so much from it. I've gained amazing
You
friends.
do.
I mean, all of my best friends are all pageant girls. And as well, even for in later life, it's life skills of standing on stage, dealing with nerves, dealing with interviews, live streams like this. Like, this is good preparation for any sort of job interviews in the future. It gets you more confident as well.
It does. And you meet so many friends and lifelong friends, because like I always tell everyone that my best friends have come from pageantry and only one or two came outside of it. And it's a testament to what pageants actually give you. And one of the things that I know you've made so many friends within pageantry. I think people know you and things like that. But what would be your one mission if you were to win Miss Universe GB? Like, what would be your defining like moment of what you want to do with the crown?
I think for me, one thing that really rings true with me is obviously the nature of my job is looking after people, caring for people, and assessing where I can give back and where I can provide. And I think that a big issue in Great Britain that's not talked about enough is poverty and homelessness. And I think that it's crazy that we live in Great Britain and people are still struggling with poverty. And it's literally on your doorstep. The company that I worked for, we did a lot of money, raised a lot of money for Cash for Kids, which was children that don't get a hot meal over the Christmas holidays, which is like 2 or 3 weeks. And they physically, because their family can't afford it. And that's 1 in 4 children. It's literally kids that are around the corner from you. And I think it's a big taboo subject that, although we've got platforms like social media, people don't talk about it because they're embarrassed about it. So I think that poverty and homelessness, I can't believe how many homeless people I see when I go into like Glasgow city centre or Birmingham or Manchester. They're everywhere. And
they're everywhere.
It's so sad that we, have free healthcare and free education, and Great Britain's an amazing country to live in. All the benefits that we get, but we're still struggling with that issue that seems so backwards and so old. But I definitely think it's something that we still need to work on. So I think that my mission as Miss Universe Great Britain would be to tackle poverty, because it is a big taboo subject, and I think we need to break the stigma of that as well, so that we can talk about it and we can help, even if it's donating second-hand clothes or old sleeping bags when you're having a clear out. All these things can go to people that need them more than you. And my family's been guilty of it before when we've had clear outs, and my mum said, oh, that's old stuff, we don't need that. And at the end of the day, we always reassess it, going, no, do you know what? Someone might need that. That might be the only thing that they've got. So I think poverty and homelessness would definitely be one of the main things that I would tackle. Obviously, there's a lot of issues going on in Great Britain anyway. But I just think that we don't let gender limit us. So why would we let someone's financial situation limit us, and they're out on the street and, and we're cozy in our houses? There'll be people right now out on the street absolutely freezing, nothing to eat, no money. And here we're complaining about a pandemic.
Exactly.
People have got it. People have got it worse than us. So I think that would be one of the main missions if I was to win Miss Universe Great Britain.
And I think it's a great mission, to be fair. And it's all about perspective. I'm just like, which word is it? It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective of how you look at things. And I think it's a wonderful mission to have. And one of the final questions that I'm going to ask, because it's a topic that's come up all this week, and ever since it came up, we've had so many inboxes about it. It's, what's your opinion on social media being used to judge pageant girls, and should it be used or shouldn't it be used, and why?
I think if it was used in the right way, then fair enough, because obviously with this pandemic, with lockdown, sometimes you've had to do what you've had to do. But I think in terms of systems, like you vote for your favourite girl, I personally don't feel like that's a fair playing ground, because that's a popularity contest at the end of the day, and that's not what pageants are about. It's not about being the most popular girl, it's about being the girl that's suitable enough and fits the
description for somebody that would make a great representative. And it doesn't matter about how many people you know, it's about what you're actually going to do with the title. So I think in terms of things like voting, you know, I know with Miss Universe Great Britain there is a voting system, but that only comes into place if the 2 first place girls tie. So that's when that would come into play, and you know, they would go to whoever has the highest vote. But I think when it comes to votes, I've done pageants before and that's been a main part of it, and it puts an immense amount of pressure on you. And I think women already have an extremely amount of like bad heavy pressure on us to look good on social media and constantly be on social media. And a lot of people this year thought that I'd kind of disappeared, because during the pandemic I had to recognise that social media was not healthy for me at that point in time, and I had to take a massive step back from it. And when I did, I felt so much more refreshed. You know, in the last 6 months, I couldn't tell you how little I've been on it. It's only been in the last 2 weeks that I've been back on to promote Miss Universe Great Britain, but that's the break that I needed, and I feel a lot more refreshed and I feel a lot more like myself. So I think that it shouldn't be used in terms of voting if it's going to affect the result. I think that's unfair. But if it's something like maybe a Zoom call to watch a girl and judge her then I think that that's a great thing, and we should take advantage of the technology.
Well, that's a new insight to have, and a different perspective to also have, because some think it's a great idea, but it's also nice to hear the other side of it. I'm still 50-50. I'm not completely convinced either way. But honestly, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to me. I know.
That's all right. It's okay. I'm literally, as I said, I got ready in 14 minutes. I've actually got my pajama bottoms on under this. So, I mean
things you would never know.
The things we need to do, honestly. But no, it's been lovely. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much, Amy.
And I appreciate all the posts, and to everyone watching, thank you so much for your support. I will do my best. Hopefully for Scotland I can bring back the crown, but we'll need to wait and see. And by this time tomorrow, I'm sure the nerves will be well and truly settling in. Yeah, and good luck to the finals. I will message you and after I've done all the lives today, because it's literally back to back to back, because all of you girls have been busy. So busy. But thank you so much, and hope to catch up to you soon.